Steve Evans, I think you and I have spoke about referees more than enough so far this season, but let's just do it again for a couple more minutes. Has there been any sort of feedback from Tuesday? Because I know some of your comments might have been seen as slightly controversial.
Yeah, I suppose you can look from a neutral point of view or a distant point of view and think they're controversial. But we're only speaking on bad decisions. I've had an email this morning as I've walked in from our young secretary from Mike Jones, one of the head guys at the PGLMO, and says it's offside. It's nothing that we didn't know from looking at the footage. And at these times when our staff are shouting, I'm on the bench and our staff are shouting offside, experience tells me now, Neil, that as much as I can get up and raise my arms, I know that when I say to the players afterwards, the television don't lie. When I look at this back, it don't lie. It's black and white offside. This isn't just offside. This is even the words of the head of referees. This is 7 or 8 yards offside. This is not even remotely close. And that's my point also about the match referee. If it's that we see with VAR now in the Premier League and it's half a toe, half a finger, they're offside, then you can get the referee not being in a position whatsoever to make a decision on it. It has to come from the assistant. But when it's like 8 yards, the assistant messes up, the referee should deal with it, the referee should see it. So just another poor set of officials for us, but it's become the normal because, listen, people can phone the PGM or MOL and ask the question. We are the number one club for the most apologies, for the most emails in the entire Football League. And it's quite hard to take when we play as well as we've done in certain games to have points taken away from us, because that's what it costs you.
Yeah, and it is, and it has been points. I mean, we were just talking about, I was talking to a colleague from one of the Bristol papers. He was saying, is it one winning so much? I said, yeah, but there are extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, listen, people can look at one win, but we know the decisions that's come up against us. Listen, we've had a couple of poor performances in that spell as well. We said when we went to Blackpool, as much as a game changer when Jamie Reid scores a perfectly good goal, to be taken away by a flag that was, listen, if the trains run to the flags, it was 4.5 minutes late, wouldn't it? With the flag on. But the bottom line is we were poor, so we didn't come out and we said about the goal and it's a potential game changer, but well beaten on the day. No severe criticisms in of the referees, assistant referee should do it. We're the same the other night. My difference is the one at Blackpool is half a yard. It's that, whereas as opposed to Bristol, it's 7 or 8 yards. We're in the main. We've returned to playing a lot better. We kept the ball a lot better the other night. We made more chances in 90 minutes the other night than we've made in probably 2 or 3 other games. We're doing it minus certain big players for us, but we're coming through those spells. And there's every bit of confidence us coming back on the coach here tonight, because we know we should have come back with a 1-0 victory, and we got that taken away from us. But we've had that with Carlisle. I'm not going to go back into it. Move on from referees. I'm not even going to discuss them against this season. I cannot think about them anymore.
Oh, well, you see, you should have come back with a 1-0 win. I think afterwards we were talking, you really should have come away with a 2 or 3-0 win. Small margins, isn't it?
Yeah, chances. Our skipper's unlucky with the header the first half. I think when we looked at that back, he's getting manhandled from both sides. There's a shout for a penalty. You're never going to get it. I wouldn't expect to get it against me, so perhaps it could be, but you don't get it. And the goalkeeper has a little flick around the corner to get on Carl's header. Carl hits the post it's a great header when you look at it back from on the evening concern. I think he should score. When I look at the footage back, it's a magnificent header from the skipper. He's an inch away from it going in as opposed to out. Kane Hemmings, we know, should score. Some poor miss from Kane. Kane had a good chance in the first half, but the goalkeeper makes a really good save. So we had enough good chances to have had the game to bed, and that was the one criticism to the team. If we take the officials away, which are proving to be costly most weeks, if we just take them away, then we should score 3 or 4 goals.
And it's just another example, like we said on Tuesday night, of League One being a very unforgiving league. You've got to take your chances.
It's just the quality of opponent. It's the quality of individual player. What's the key dynamic that's missing in there? The quality of official. That doesn't seem to change, because we had a lot of poor ones last year. But the quality of players against us is infinitely better. The clubs prove that with the amount of resource they've got to sign big players. So we're competing very well. We're playing for a big prize on Saturday. Whatever happens anywhere else, if we can beat Derby County, we go back into the playoffs. In reality, we're probably 4 points behind where we should be, but we point to Bristol, we point to Carlisle, and we go, there's the points, without thinking too deep about whether we should have held on against Charlton, or when we missed that last minute gilt-edged chance against Pompey at 0-0. So from our point of view, we've got a lot more to do, a lot more to bring to the party. And I think the players know it, but they're hot the other night. They were hurting from someone that was taken away from them, despite their inefficiencies to get the second goal.
And you mentioned Derby, so let's talk about them. And Paul Warren, someone you know very, very well indeed.
Yeah, and he's somebody I like very much, somebody I respect very much. You know, when I arrived at Rotherham United many moons ago, Paul was the BBC man, balls, bibs and cones, and that's what he was. And but we took him under a wing, we invested time in him. He repaid it magnificently for us. And he gave myself and Paul and Chairman Tony Stewart a wonderful service. And then obviously became, I think he was about the third or fourth appointed in the role after I left, because they kept giving it to managers that didn't really deserve the role, but one, he got a chance, and he was magnificent. And he's earned the right. He's earned the right to go to Derby County. And, you know, he's a top guy, real top guy. We look forward to seeing him on Saturday. But we know the weapons he brings on his team coach. We know the quality of player they've got. They're an outstanding side. They will be promoted, in my opinion, this season. They just have to have a calmness about their next run to Christmas. And Paul will go to the market in January. I think he's already spoken about it. And they've got wonderful owners after an owner that wanted to buy the world but ended up skint. But they seem to have a real good family connection in their ownership. And Paul will work very well with them, I'm sure.
You've often talked about managers at these big clubs and the pressure that they're under. He'll be under pressure to get a result on Saturday.
He is under pressure. I think there's not one Derby fan who'll wake up on Saturday morning thinking that tiny Stevenage Football Club can beat Derby County. For us, this is a great day. It's a great day. We are hosting in a league game, so a level playing field. We're hosting in a league game a team that was the English champions. It may have been a long time ago. Certainly, it was in my lifetime. But they were the English champions. This is a football club that commands and demands 30,000 fans most weeks, or 26, 28,000, 35. They'd take 50, 60,000 if they went to Wembley. They're an incredible football club, fantastic facilities, a training ground that equals anything in the Premier League, a stadium that equals anything in the Premier League, and a squad that's resourced at the highest level in League One and probably dissolve a lot of championship clubs. That's the pressure that Paul has to take and then go and earn results. But they got a good win in midweek. We watched all of that. We watched the loss at Shrewsbury. And even in the loss at Shrewsbury, they probably missed 3 or 4 gilt-edged chances. But Paul freshened up in the week and he's got a good win. So they'll come here in a confident but nervous mode, I would think.
And you have a habit of really raising your game when the stakes are high. I mean, you love playing these big boys.
Well, I think my address to the players this week has been quite simple since we've come out of Bristol, is that going to Bristol Rovers was a big game for us. Bristol Rovers is a big club in League One. But when you're playing Derby County, you're playing the club that everyone at the start of the season said, when do we play Derby? I think last season everyone said, when do we play Shelbourne Wednesday? When do we play Ipswich? And that's the attraction of League One. This season we're looking at, it's Derby County, it's Portsmouth, it's Charlton, there's just that many giants. But you still would say, if you looked at League One in a league table or alphabetical form, all around the world, Derby County will be known, won't they? They're a fantastic football club. We'll pay them the respect and honour them the way we should do. The supporters will travel in big numbers and they'll be on the roofs on their way in. And just for the one or two that I know who live up in Derby, postcodes are barred. You can't get an air ticket and my phone's not answering. So we can't help you. But it's a great game for Stevenage as a town, Derby County coming here. It's fantastic. And a huge challenge for us. All around the country, I can see all these people all around the country, if they're having a little bet, we don't bet, we're not allowed to, but all around the country, millions do every Saturday, they pick the teams. There's no Stevenage going on those bets, there's no Stevenage, a lot of derbies. So from our point of view, we just have to try and cause an upset like we've done a few times in the last 18 months.
When you had Paul at Rotherham, did you know he would go on to become a manager?
He sat in my office every day, 3 or 4 times a day, and said, I never want to be a manager. And I think for the first year in the job, he did not want to be a manager. And I think he's taken it, to be fair, like a duck to water is an expression. I think he's different and completely different opposite approaches from myself at different times. He's put staff around him that endearing to him, that work hard and all stuff, the principles I stand for. But I think Paul would be the first to say there's the 3 or 4 managers, 5 managers that he played for that he really valued. I think 4 years with myself gave him a big input to how to do things, and he does them meticulous. But I knew he'd be a manager, and I knew if he got the chance, I knew he'd be a good one, and it's proven to be.
Let's just look at personnel-wise. Jake Forster, Kasky, Terence Van Kooten both sort of came off on Tuesday night. What's the latest with them?
Well, we'll see if we can get both on the training ground tomorrow. Obviously, both come off with issues. It's never good for us. We're already limited in numbers, as you know. We were very close to that night to no one else being available. I think with 2 players that could have stripped to that's it, and players that's not been figuring of late. But we'll see how Jake is and Terence are later today. With boys said they were in, because if you're injured, had a knock, they were in back very late from Bristol. But they're in the building now, so I'll get a report from them from the medical department after they've been in the gym about 1 o'clock.
And the other 2 who are classes, the longer term injuries were Harry Anderson and Dan Sweeney.
Harry Anderson is, we're actually in many respects lucky to have Harry here today. He went home earlier the week and was involved in a shunt from behind with a van. Somebody texting, doing 70 miles an hour. Harry's at a standstill in the 25. So the kid was in hospital in A&E and having scans and all sorts as recently as Monday. But the good thing is that he seems to have come through that in nothing more than bruises and battered, if you like. But he was training. He had 2 weeks of pre-season training in the last 2 weeks. So we're hopeful we give him a couple of days when we travel to Bristol just to get his head back around that, because when you think how close life is at times. But I've seen him in the building. He's walked in with a Anderson smile. So I think he's good to train today, which is good. And Dan Sweeney for a couple of weeks now.
The bugle, yes. I'd forgot about the bugle.
Well, I even have to put my glasses on because I understand that obviously our drummer's away. I spoke earlier in the week about the drummer, and he's gone. He's in Norfolk. I'm like, pretend he's a bifocal. I'm looking for him, binoculars, where is he? But no, he's bringing us in. Freddie Jones is a good sub. I'm told, off the bench. Freddie, get that drum louder going. And of course, I did say we'd produce the bugle. So we have a do-do-do. So let's get it going, guys. We're looking forward to seeing our band in full tune on Saturday. Get that on the front page of the comment.